All right. Shalom, shalom. Let's start off by saying, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kol Haloyim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ochak Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone and the like-minded brothers. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that's scattered abroad, the Akim and the Akwak that's listening in. Yahweh Rakazah, Lord willing, that the lesson is edifying. It's the brother Shuab Amwan back at you with another lesson. And going into the title, right? News update on World War III. Right, live coverage, which I got the live chat, live coverage for this devil's speech that he's about to come out concerning him dropping bombs on Venezuela and having the president basically captured him and his wife. All right, so we're about to find out what this devil's about to say. All right, which he's boasting in great pride as always. All right, but let me grab this out, this preset while we wait, because this nigga's late. President Trump like a whole nigga, late as hell to the show, right? But this is Isaiah, right? Slovakia. Second, this is Isaiah 54:16. It says, "Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy." All right. So you have to understand that the modern day, Shalom Malak, you have to understand that the modern day smith, all right, is the ones that create these atomic bombs, these missiles, all right, which is your basically your modern day scientists, all right. And it says that he bringeth Salakia. It says that he bloweth the coals in the fire, and that he bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And what's that instrument? All right, going into this these hypersonic nuclear thermonuclear missiles, all right, that are being provided throughout the world, right, where each one of these nations now have the power of nuclear power. Okay, see, each of one of these nations are showing their teeth. Okay, they were all once weak, and America was the straight powerhouse, but now they are showing their teeth and showing that they are no longer weak. That's why the scriptures say, "Let the weak say that that I am strong." All right, going into, let's just grab that real quick. This is well. It's funny because everybody out here waiting for this nigga. Everybody waiting for his ass while he laid his ass to the damn scene. And the comments that's going up on this shit is wild right now. Comments is wild. You know, a lot of people in great pride, man. You know, but this is Joel 3:9. It says, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war." All right, wake up the mighty men. All right, see, and right here speaking about these other nations. Okay, it says, "Prepare war and wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong." You see, so you know them beating their plowshares into swords and their pruning hooks together. Okay.
Okay. So let's say you want to start building credit and you need a credit card to do that. Where do you go? Credit.
All right, is them bringing all their nuclear power together. All right, and what you're going to see is you're going to see all these nations come together basically to destroy America. As the scriptures say, the beast shall hate the whore. All right, as a matter of fact, let's grab this. Even their own allies. All right, let's grab Obadiah. All right, Obadiah tells you how this devil, all right, his own people that were at league with him, all right, they shall destroy him. All right, this is right next to it. Like literally right next to it. You don't want to. Come on. There you go. I want to turn to the page. This is Obadiah 1:7. And it says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Okay. So, you know, all those countries that were once, you know, teamed up, right, that were at peace with America, eventually they will turn against America, all right, to destroy America, along with these other nations that already hate America. Okay, look at what the nation look at what Esau's up against, man. America's up against Russia, China. Just them two alone will wipe out America. Okay, Iran, you know. And then imagine all their allies that were once, you know, at peace with them coming together with these three main, you know, nations, all right, that are straight powerhouses. You see, they have no chance. And see, the pride of thine heart has deceived them, because they literally think that they will be able to come up against all these other nations together. You see, and going through what they just went through out there in Venezuela, dropping bombs and then capturing, all right, the president and his wife. You know, this devil's, you know, boasting himself, you know. Oh, I'm the man, you know. I'm the high general up in here. See, this is the damn devil that the Bible speaks of, man, because he is filled with pride. All right. As a matter of fact, let's grab and Shalom Malak Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatah. Let's grab. I'm gonna have Jeremiah on deck. All right. This is let me grab this one, 51, and then I want to grab also Psalms 10. I'll grab Psalms 10 first. All right, this is Psalms 10 and 3. And it says, for the wicked boasteth of his heart's desires, all right? Whether it be of him setting in this new world order, you know, him bringing in this RFID, or him bringing war, waging war against all these nations, all right? He boasts always in his heart's desire. So whatever this devil's plans are, he likes to boast in them. And then when these things come to pass, all right, he loves to laugh at it. You know, he puffeth himself at his enemies, as the scripture says. Let's read that a little bit down. It says, the wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after Yahweh. Yahweh is not in his thoughts. All right, so let me finish reading 3. For the wicked boast of his heart's desires, and blessed the covetous of whom the Lord Yahweh abhorreth. The wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after Yahweh. Yahweh is not in all his thoughts. Here we go.
Okay,
he just came out.
Thank you very much. This is Big Duff.
Right? It says his ways are always grievous, and thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them.
At my direction, the United States Armed Forces conducted an extraordinary military operation in the capital of Venezuela. Overwhelming American military power, air, land, and sea, was used to launch a spectacular assault. And it was an assault like people have not seen since World War II. It was a force against a heavily fortified military fortress in the heart of Caracas to bring outlaw dictators.
And that's heavy. He said that because the scriptures say the second will pass and the third will come quickly. So he mentioned in the Second World War, man. Right?
Nicolas Maduro to justice. This was one of the most stunning, effective, and powerful displays of American military might and competence in American history. And if you think about it, Done some other good ones like the attack on Soleimani, the attack on al-Baghdadi, and the obliteration and decimation of the Iran nuclear sites just recently in an operation known as Midnight Hammer. All perfectly executed and done.
And that's spiritual midnight hammer, because the scriptures say, how's the hammer? All right. Scripture say, where's that in Jeremiah 51? And let me find it real quick. I know it's down a little bit. Where's it at? Give me 1 second. I know I'm passing right by it. Where's it at? Give me 1 second. Damn, am I passing right by it? Or is it in the 50th chapter? Give me 1 second. Let me just play this real quick.
In the world could achieve what America achieved yesterday, or frankly, in just a short period of time. All Venezuelan military capacities were rendered powerless as the men and women of our military, working with U.S. law enforcement, successfully captured Maduro in the dead of night. It was dark. The lights of Caracas were largely turned off due to a certain expertise that we have. It was dark and it was deadly.
And they have the power to what? How you think they were able to turn off them lights, man? Through EMP. You see? So they have the power to just turn off lights just like that. You see? And the fact that he even did that, all right, is showing you that's what's coming to America. That's how America's going to be smacked. Okay? Remember, the scriptures talk about how Iran, right, is supposed to waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians, man. So it might be very well through the spirit that when the lights get cut off out here, man, you know, that's when you see, you know, Iran, you know, come and waste a portion of the Assyrians. Okay, a portion of the land, you know, might get smacked with a couple of missiles here and there. All right.
Wife, Celia Flores, both of whom now face American justice. Maduro and Flores have been indicted in the Southern District of New York, Jay Clayton, for their campaign of deadly narco-terrorism against the United States and its citizens. I want to thank the men and women of our military who achieved such an extraordinary success overnight with breathtaking speed, power, precision, and competence. You rarely see anything like it. You've seen some raids in this country that didn't go so well. They were an embarrassment. If you look back to Afghanistan, or if you look back to the Jimmy Carter days, they were different days. We're a respected country again, like never before. These highly trained warriors operating in collaboration with U.S. law enforcement caught them in a very ready position. They were waiting for us. They knew we had many ships out in the sea, just sort of waiting. They knew we were coming. So they were in what's called a ready position. But they were completely overwhelmed and very quickly incapacitated. If you would have seen what I saw last night, you would have been very impressed. I'm not sure that you'll ever get to see it, but it was an incredible thing to see. Not a single American service member was killed, and not a single piece of American equipment was lost. We had many helicopters, many planes, many people involved in that fight. But think of that, not one piece of military equipment was lost, not one service member was, more importantly, killed. The United States military is the strongest and most fearsome military on the planet by far, with capabilities and skills our enemies can scarcely begin to imagine. We have the best equipment anywhere in the world. There's no
You see, I just said that shit. This nigga's gonna be talking all this extra shit of him boasting himself, man. And see, this is the pride that has deceived them, because when the time comes that the Lord brings the nuclear missiles, man, they're not going to be able to defend themselves. See, no, there's going to be no defense system against the wrath of the Lord or the indignation of the Lord. You see, that's why Russia's going to have, the Lord going to have that full power. All right. To the city of the unwalled, the place of unwalled villages, man. You see, because the Lord going to shut down the defense system. The Lord, all right, with these devils being, putting their nose where it don't need to be and always being scattered for waging war on all these other nations, all right, they're gonna have no protection here. You see, so it ain't gonna be no defense system when the Lord comes with his indignation, man. And he boasting about it too.
Yeah, but you see that. Even if you just look at the boats, we've knocked out 97% of the drugs coming in by sea. 90%. Each boat kills 25, on average, 25,000 people. We knocked out 97%.
Which none of that shit had to do with them trying to wage war on drugs, man. They were waging war for the resources of Venezuela. All right. Venezuela is one of the main places that carries the most, all right, oil, the most barrels of oil, all right, in the world. So they were just doing what they normally do, man. They take over everybody's resources and they keep them from themselves. You see, they pretty much had to do that because America's in such debt and America's fallen and collapses so bad that they have to make a move like that. Which at the end of the day, they're going to take over all of that and still fail, to keep America great again.
Mostly come from a place called Venezuela. We're going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. So we don't want to be involved with having somebody else get in and
the fact that they just threw me off of my shit is wild.
Liberty and justice for the great people of Venezuela, and that includes many from Venezuela that are now living in the United States.
And you see, and they cut me off as soon as I said that there's not waging war on drugs. They're waging war on the resources of Venezuela, the oil. And look, they cut me right off when I said that shit.
To go back to their country, it's their homeland. We can't take a chance that somebody else takes over Venezuela that doesn't have the good of the Venezuelan people in mind. Had decades of that. We're not going to let that happen. We're there now, and what people don't understand, but they understand as I say this, we're there now, but we're going to stay until such time as the proper transition can take place. So we're going to stay until such time as we're going to run it essentially until such time as a proper transition can take place.
Yeah, so basically they have Venezuela in a siege, man. Which, hey, that's Jacob's trouble for Venezuela, because Venezuela is our people, man. They from the Northern Kingdom. They're from the tribe of Asher. You see, so now Asher's in big trouble. See, now there's going to be a whole lot of Jacob's trouble going down in Venezuela for our people, man. A lot of people going to be, man, listen, people going to be getting snatched up out of their homes out there. A lot of women's going to be ravished, all right? Because when there's war, all right, those that are in war, right, the military men, they like to, take spoils of war, right? War booty, okay? So a lot of these women out there going to get ravished, man, okay? And they're going to have to try to set up a system for them to abide by. And if they don't abide by that system, okay, well, what does that mean? You're going to be unalived, all right? They're definitely going to set up their system of the beast system out there, all right? They're going to bring in, that RFID out there, just like they've been doing it to all the immigrants that they've been snatching up, taking to these FEMA camps. They're the first ones that are, guinea pigs to try these things on, So Jacob's trouble's coming to them.
As everyone knows, the oil business in Venezuela has been a bust, a total bust for a long period of time. They were pumping almost nothing by comparison to what they could have been pumping and what could have taken place. We're going to have our very large United States oil companies, the biggest anywhere in the world, go in, spend billions of dollars, fix the badly broken infrastructure, the oil infrastructure, and start making money for the country. And we are ready to stage a second and much larger attack if.
And you see, he just said the key. He said they're gonna make money for the country. See, that's how you know that they went over there to take the resources because of the debt they're in. You see, and Habakkuk 2:6 talks about that, man. All right, or 2:7. All right, how they ladder themselves with thick clay. All right, which they're in much debt. So now they have to go. Whenever America's always in debt, they always go to other countries to try to take their resources, man, to help them out, to get out of that debt. And why they're in so much debt? Because they pay so much, millions and trillions of dollars, one, to keep you away from this truth, and, two, to set up their system, to have this system of technocracy. That shit costs money for these scientists to make. So who they got to get paid somehow, you see?
We were prepared to do a second wave if we needed to do so. We actually assumed that a second wave would be necessary, but now it's probably not. The first wave, if you'd like to call it that, the first attack was so successful, we probably don't have to do a second, but we're prepared to do a second wave, a much bigger wave, actually. This was pinpoint, but we have a much bigger wave that probably won't have to do. This partnership of Venezuela with the United States of America, a country that everybody wants to be involved with because of what we were able to do and accomplish, will make the people of Venezuela rich, independent, and safe. And it will also make the many, many people from Venezuela that are living in the United States.
Yeah, what do you say? Rich, independent, and safe. When they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction coming for them. See, like the brother Daniela put, yep. Plus, you're going to have rebels, all right, and militia groups out there. Yeah, so great, terrible times is going to come for Asher, man. They're about to be in Jacob's trouble heavy, okay, along with those other nations, because they're going to go from Venezuela, they're going to go all around South America to all them tribes, man. Brazil going to be next, because Brazil the biggest out of all of them. So Brazil about to be next. Best believe it. You see? Once they take over the spot where the oil's at, man, it's just that much easier to take over going all the way down. You see? And you also have the tribe of Naphtali out there. Okay? So, man, it's about to be crazy times over there, man. Okay?
It's extremely.
I'm going to grab them precepts.
They suffered. So much was taken from them. They're not going to suffer anymore. The illegitimate dictator Maduro was the kingpin of a vast criminal network responsible for trafficking colossal amounts of deadly and illicit drugs. In the indictment, he personally oversaw with lethal poison responsible for the deaths of Americans. Many, many Americans, hundreds of thousands over the years of Americans died because of him. Maduro and his wife will soon face the full might of American justice and stand trial on American soil. Right now, they're on a ship. They'll be heading to ultimately New York, and then a decision will be made, I assume, between New York and Miami or Florida.
Look at this shit.
But we have people where the overwhelming evidence of their crimes will be presented in a court of law. And I've seen it. I've seen what we have. It's both horrible and breathtaking that something like this could have been allowed to take place. For many years after his term as president of Venezuela, expired Maduro remained in power and waged a ceaseless campaign of violence, terror,
Which I'll be real with
and
you.
subversion again.
Believe it or not, remember, man, life is a stage in America. Life is a stage just in life general. All right. I believe that the president, you know, is in cahoots with this devil anyway. Because all these nations around the world, man, that are joined by their governments, they all sit at the round table together, whether it be Israelites or not. Remember, these niggas they can't wait to have a payday, man. So the fact that they even captured this nigga and brought him to the States is a lot of volumes being spoken, man. Because if it was somebody else, they would have murked his ass. Didn't they try to murk which Bin Laden was on some bullshit anyway, all right? But when they had Bin Laden, right, they killed his ass supposedly, right? Which I believe that was he was a fake character at the end of the day, all right? But they killed him, right? When it came to Saddam Hussein, right, they killed his ass, right? When it came to Gaddafi and all them other places, right, they killed them, right? But here it is, they didn't kill this one. Here it is, you waging war against them, but you ain't murked this nigga. You ain't take him out the way. Why the hell you gonna bring him to the States for? All right, because he can't be in his own country, because his own country about to go out there and fucking murk his ass. You see, because these governments, all right, they are in cahoots with the rest of the governments of the world, and they all are in league with each other to set this one world order. You see, so there's something fishy about that whole situation right there, man. Believe it or not.
It's the United States of America, threatening not only our people, but the stability of the entire region.
That's right, a lot of psyops.
In addition to trafficking gigantic amounts of illegal drugs that inflicted untold suffering and human destruction all over the country, all over in particular the United States. Maduro sent savage and murderous gangs, including the bloodthirsty prison gang, Tren de Aragua, to terrorize American communities nationwide. And he did indeed. They were in Colorado. They took over apartment complexes. They cut the fingers off people if they call police.
This nigga's funny as hell, bro.
That's so brutal now.
I can't stand Trump.
Congratulate our military, Pete, and everybody, and our National Guard, because the job that they've done, whether it's in Washington, D.C., where we have a totally safe city, where it was one of the most unsafe cities anywhere in the world, frankly, and now we have no crime in Washington, D.C. We haven't had the killing. We had the terrorist attack a few weeks ago. A little bit of a different kind of it.
And remember, the scriptures talk about how this devil's a liar, so he lying, man. There's hella crime going on out there, man. Believe it or not, crime is ramping up, okay? Because desperation is setting in. When there is desperation, all right, desperate times calls for desperate measures. So there ain't no such thing as crime is at its lowest and it's no crime, bro. Crime is scriptures say, because iniquity abound, the love of many shall wax worse and cold. So there's no way that crime is going to stop. Crime can never stop. All right. The scriptures talk about in Hosea 4:1 that the Lord has a controversy with the land because of all the different type of crimes they do. You know, stealing, murdering, killing, right? Adultery, all that shit, man. That shit's going to continue to get worse and worse. It ain't going to get better and better. Don't believe this damn devil.
A threat. But we haven't had a killing in a long period of time, 6-7 months. We used to have 2.
Yeah, no, you mean a killing. You ain't got no killings that you ain't reporting, because they not, remember, they control the media. They control the news. So they could control what is being put out and what's being reported, man. It's simple math. They don't have to report any of that shit. And they can make it look like there's no crime. But, man, there's crime every single day, bro. Lives are being taken every day. As a matter of fact, Micah 3:5 tells you that the Lord, right, every morning does the Lord bring judgment to the light. So here he is trying to, you know, take away the words of the Lord, take away the words from the scriptures, man. Stop playing.
On average, 2 a week in Washington, our capital. We don't have that anymore. The restaurants are opening. Everyone's happy. They're going, they're walking their daughters, they're walking their children, their wives, they walk to restaurants are opening all over Washington, D.C. So I want to thank the National Guard. I want to thank our military. And I want to thank law enforcement. It's been amazing.
Bro.
And they should do it with more cities. We're doing it, as you know, and we're doing it in Memphis, Tennessee right now, and crime is down. Just sort of started a few weeks ago, but crime is down now 77%. And the governor of Louisiana called.
And it's a lie, because who's going to bring the greatest crime? Who's going to bring the greatest death upon the earth? It's going to be these devils by the way of their martial law troops, man. Their UN troops. Scriptures say that they shall be like madmen, sparing none. All right. So what they're just doing is they're just controlling things by showing their tactics. And like I always say, the greatest weapon of mass destruction these devils got is fear. So they just putting fear in people's neighborhoods, all right, and keeping people calm, all right. But the more that the desperation kicks in and people, you know, attempt to grow brains together, they're going to come up against their powers. You see? So crime is just a matter of time before it breaks all hell. You know, as the scriptures say, all hell going to break loose, you know. This nigga different.
And he wanted us to help him, as you know, in a certain very nice part of Louisiana, and we have done that. It was a rough section, and we have crime down. I understand it's down to almost nothing already after 2.5 weeks. New Orleans, it's down to almost nothing, and we've only been there for 2.5 weeks. Can't imagine why governors wouldn't want us to help. We also helped, as you know, in Chicago. Then crime went down a little bit there. We did a very small help because we had no working ability with the governor. The governor was a disaster and the mayor was a disaster, but it knocked down crime. But we're pulling out of there when they need us. We'll know. You'll know. You'll be writing about it.
Yeah,
and likewise,
he said, you'll know.
Angeles, where we saved
and what's funny is I don't know what the fuck this shit got to do with any of the things of what just happened out there in Venezuela, man. He just talking and rambling on about dumb shit.
Los Angeles early on, where the head of the police department made a statement that if the federal government didn't come in, we would have lost Los Angeles. That's long after the fires. That's when they had the riots in Los Angeles. We did a great job. Got no credit for it whatsoever, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. We don't need the credit. But we'll be pulling out when they need us. They'll call, or we'll go back if we have to. We'll go back. But we did a great job in various cities. But the place that we're very proud of is Washington, D.C., because it's our nation's capital. We took it from being a crime-ridden mess to being one of the safest cities in the country. But the gangs that they sent raped, tortured, and murdered American women and children. They were in all of the cities I mentioned, Aragua, and they were sent.
Check out these thermal winter gloves.
And what's funny is he's talking about that he done stopped all that, but they the ones that's gonna usher it right back in. They the ones that's gonna do most of those crimes right there.
Can be able to threaten an American citizen or anybody from Venezuela. There will no longer be threats. For years, I've highlighted the stories of those innocent Americans whose lives were so heartlessly robbed by this Venezuelan terrorist organization. Really one of the worst. One of the worst. They say the worst.
And what they doing is they painting the face of terrorism on Jake. All right. Right now they're using the Northern Kingdom. They're using that Venezuela was this big ass threat to society, you see? And just like how they do with so-called blacks, with the tribe of Judah, they'll put you on the forefront in the face of terror. You know what I'm saying? And here it is. I ain't never seen a Venezuelan gang out here in my life. I mean, I done seen a lot of Issachar out here, a lot of, you know, Zebulon, Salvador, you know, they got the Salvadorian, you know, gangs out here. But I ain't never hear about no damn Venezuelan gangs out here, man. See, but this is what this devil does, man. He just painting the picture of Jake in general, all right? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians being the fucking face of crime, of terror in life, man.
Jocelyn Nungary from Houston. Beautiful Jocelyn Nungary, what happened to her? They, as you know, they kidnapped, assaulted, and murdered by Aragua animals. They murdered Jocelyn. And
Man, I wish he could just shut up and hurry up with this shit.
There was a bridge that will never be the same to so many people after seeing what happened. As I've said many times, the Maduro regime emptied out their prisons, sent their worst and most violent monsters into the United States to steal American lives. And they came from mental institutions and insane asylums. They came from prisons and jails. The reason I say both, they sound similar. Actually, prisons a little bit more hostile, a little bit tougher. A mental institution isn't as tough as an insane asylum, but we got them both. They sent from their mental institutions. They sent from their jails, prisons. They were drug dealers. They were drug kingpins. They sent everybody bad into the United States, but no longer. And we have now a border where nobody gets through. In addition, Venezuela unilaterally seized and sold American oil, American assets, and American platforms, costing us billions and billions of dollars. They did this a while ago, but we never had a president that did anything about it. They took all of our property. It was our property. We built it.
There go Esau. Ain't nothing. Let me tell you something. Esau's a wanderer, bro. Esau's a vagabond and a fugitive. A vagabond is someone that has no home, someone that has no culture. So all this devil does is steal from everybody else. So for him to say it was ours is a whole bullshit ass lie. All right. He always stealing something from somebody and claiming that it's his. All right. Scriptures talk about woe to the bloody city that's built on lies and robbery. All right. This whole entire America was built on lies and robbery and built off the blood of the backs of Israelites, man. Just like every other empire around the world was built off of the backs of Israelites, man. You see?
That decided to do anything about it. Instead, they fought wars that were 10,000 miles away. We built Venezuela oil industry with American talent, drive, and skill, and the socialist regime stole it from us during those
oh my gosh
administrations, and they stole it through force. This constituted one of the largest thefts of American property in the history of our country. Considered the largest theft of property in the history of our country. Massive oil infrastructure was taken like we were babies, so we didn't do anything about it.
Yeah, see, and that's what and he just saying that to tell you that this is why we're waging war on Venezuela, because we're taking back our oil. You see, they want to make it look like it was their oil to begin with when it never was, man. All right, when you go into Asher, all right, and in the 47th chapter, okay, of Genesis, either 47 and the 49th, all right, it speaks about how in those last days, each and one of the tribes will go through certain things, all right, and Asher, all right, when you go into the words in there, all right, in the interlinear, it speaks about how their main, one of the main things that they have is going to be oil. They were rich in oil. That whole country was rich in oil, you see, but because America didn't have their hands fully on it, all right, now he wants to claim that now that it was theirs so they can fully get their hands on it. You see, just like how they always done to every other country. You know, he has the fatness of the earth, man. That's the blessing. He has the blessing of the sword and the fatness of the earth. So he's able to take over the fatness of the earth with the blessing of the sword. So both of those both of those blessings that he has go hand in hand together, man. You see, to be able to conquer things throughout the world. This fucking devil, bro.
Nothing about it. America will never allow foreign powers to rob our people or drive us back into and out of our own hemisphere. That's what they did. Furthermore, under the now,
and I know this bullshit because our people are. Listen, it tells you in Genesis, our people in the 25th verse, 25th chapter, that our people are what it say? Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and we were a plain man, right? A man dwelling in tents. So our people are peaceful people, believe it or not. Yeah, do we get rowdy? Yeah, because we're under the curses. So, you know, we kill ourselves. We kill, you know, bloodshed comes amongst ourselves. But at the end of the day, even when we're asses are wicked, all right, we are peaceful and calm people, man. We people that know how to vibe and vibe with each other. when we're in the right state of mind and we're not doing, you know, we're not fully on the curses doing dumb shit, you know? So for them to act like if we're these people that just rage war and misery upon people is wild, right?
Venezuela was increasingly hosting foreign adversaries in our region and acquiring menacing offensive weapons that could threaten U.S. interests and lives. And they used those weapons last night.
No, they didn't.
Potentially in league with the cartels operating.
This is how you catch him in a lie, because he said they did Operation whatever the fuck it was, Hammer Darkness. Okay, so they basically cut the lights out, all right, on them, and they did that so they can make an attack on them suddenly. You see, so they didn't even know that attack was gonna come. Honestly, like, have they been hearing about the war and hearing about America setting up? Yeah, of course they know that, but they didn't know that America was just gonna finally come out of nowhere and just start just dropping bombs on them, man. That shit happened just sporadically out of nowhere. You see, just like how they did when the time came for Pearl Harbor, right? And the Japanese, right, came and they smacked us without us knowing. See, they have that same mentality. Okay. They like to try to smack people when they least expect it, because there's a whole bunch of viral ass videos that's going out right now on the web showing you that these niggas was in the middle of partying, celebrating the new year. And then all of a sudden bombs just started dropping out of nowhere. You see, which that's the wrath of the Lord, man, because he mad as hell that our people celebrating these wicked ass holidays. So in the middle of them celebrating, the Lord came and dropped the hammer on them. You see?
All of these actions were in gross violation of the core principles of American
I'm about to
foreign
forward all that
policy,
shit because he just talking
dating back
shit.
more than 2 centuries, and not anymore. All the way back, it dated to the Monroe Doctrines, and the Monroe Doctrine is a big deal, but we've superseded it by a lot, by a real lot. They now call it the Monroe Document. I don't know. It's Monroe Doctrine. We sort of forgot about it. It was very important, but we forgot about it. We don't forget about it anymore. Under our new national security strategy,
so we've been 15 minutes in,
dominance
right?
in the Western Hemisphere will never be.
We've witnessed today is a powerful demonstration.
Oh, he already stopped talking. Let me see. He stopped talking at what?
Well, it didn't allow this horrible person and this country that was doing very bad things to us. It didn't allow it to happen. And the Western Hemisphere is right now a much safer place to be. So I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank General Raisin Kane.
Yeah, nobody gives a fuck no more. Now they got they got their military general over there.
Commitment to our nation.
Talking some bullshit. So if you want to go from where I left off, I did 15 minutes, around 15-minute mark. All right. So if you want to go pick it up after this and go watch it, you know, live from 15 minutes on, just to see what they talking, you know, but that's pretty much the point on that. I'll grab a couple of scriptures, but you see what this devil talking about, man. This devil just talking some nonsense, bro. You know, he just trying to back himself up to make it look good, like he did this great deed of bombing Venezuela, all right, when you know damn well all he was doing was trying to take the resources, knock them out of the way, because they are Israelites. Because remember, they have been trying to find ways to depopulate our people, man, as it tells you in Psalms, the 83rd chapter. All right, they're trying to take away the name of Israel out of remembrance. Okay, let's grab a couple of these scriptures up on the board. All right, this is Slovakia. China alone would ruin. I know. I'm trying to tell you, bro. China alone, Russia alone would annihilate America. They too big of an army. All right. This is Daniel 7:25, and he shall speak great words against the Most High Yahweh, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change the times and laws, and they shall be given into this hand until a time and times and the dividing of time. You see. So this devil, you know, speaking them great swelling words, man, of pride. That's what he do. He puff up at his enemies, man. All right. And that's the pride that has deceived him, because the Lord going to lower his ass, man. He going to bring that. Let me grab that because I had it on deck. All right. Give me 1 second. This is Jeremiah 50 and 23, and it says, "How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken?" All right, because see, they the power hammer here. All right, hammer time out here. You see, but the Lord's gonna humble his ass, man, and bring him down to naught. So it says, "How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations?" How is it gonna happen? Because the wrath of the Lord is gonna destroy it, man, and all these other nations. All right, the Lord gonna put his indignation in the rest of these nations all together, you see, and they're gonna be annihilated, man, from California to New York, never to be inhabited again. You see, that's how bad the Lord hates Esau, right? And that's how bad the Lord hates America. You see that he gonna annihilate it from California to New York City, man, never to be inhabited again. Okay, it says 26. It says, "But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and to destroy it unto the end." You see? So at the end of the day, all right, the Lord, as always said, he had war with Amalek from generation to generation. Well, this is the time, we're in the times that the Lord is about to rain missiles and rain judgment upon Amalek. Okay, and he only gonna allow a small remnant, all right, to survive, because they're going to be the first fruits of slavery, man. Okay, that's the only reason some of them are going to be able to survive. But the rest of these nations and the rest of the world, all right, they're going to be annihilated and disintegrated out here, man. Okay, this is Psalms 94 and 4. It says, "How long shall they utter and speak hard things, and all the workers of iniquity boast themselves?" You see, they continually boast themselves in everything they do, man. And here it is that their military is just filled with a bunch of fags, okay? A bunch of soft ass ice cream niggas, fruity pebble ass niggas, right? And they think that they're just tough shit, you see? And that's because the Lord, right? Let's grab this. The Lord, all right? Give me 1 second. This is Second Ezra's. Wait, is it First Ezra's? I think it's First Ezra's. Yes, First Ezra's. No, Second Ezra, Salakia. This is Second Ezra 4 and 37. "By measure has he measured the times, and by number has he numbered the times, and he does not move nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled." Okay, let's grab this. This is hold on. This is Isaiah 13. No, it's not 13. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Muster is the host of the battle, KJV.
The phrase "muster the host of the battle" in the King James Version refers to the Lord of hosts preparing an army, as seen in Isaiah chapter 13, verse 4.
Oh, yeah, it is that. So like Isaiah 13 and 4, it says, "The noise of the multitude in the mountains, like as of great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord Yahweh of hosts mustereth the host of the battle." All right. So until the said measure be fulfilled, the Lord is not going to move his pieces on the chessboard. All right. Until the said measure be fulfilled. And he's the one that musters the host of the battle. So he is moving everybody where he needs to move them. All right. Until the said measure be fulfilled. So he allowing Esau to do his thing. All right. And these other nations haven't made a move yet, because remember, the Lord is holding Babylon the Great for last. So until that time comes, all right, which is really going to be right after that RFID is made mandatory. See, that's when he going to see the wrath of all these nations come together and start making moves on him. Right now, the Lord is allowing him to make these moves, man. As a matter of fact, what's that? This is 2 Thessalonians 2 and wait 1 second. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 7. For the mystery of iniquity does already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. So the Lord allows him to do these things. He is letting him do these things, all right, until the time comes that he is being taken out of the way, all right. So he's with the same way the Lord is holding back the four winds of the earth from total destruction. He holding the force back from all these other nations that already hate America and are mad at him, right? Because it tells you that in let's grab that Jeremiah 51 and 8. All right. 51 and 8 or 7. 7, right? It says Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. So the nations are already pissed at America. Best believe it. Okay. But see, the fact that they haven't made their move yet is because the said measure hasn't been fulfilled. So until that said measure of the RFID being made mandatory around the world, made globally mandatory, that's when you're going to see the Lord put the spirit on all these nations to destroy America all at once, man. You see? Again, America's being last, is held last, all right? He's saving the best for last because it's that America the Great, Babylon the Great, right? That great golden city, you see? So the fact that the Lord is moving like that is wild, all right? And it has him in a proudful, delusional state, thinking that he gonna be able to conquer everybody, man, until that time comes, you see? So let's grab 7. It says, yet they say the Lord Yahweh shall not see, neither shall the God of Jacob regard it. See? They have that mentality that the Lord's not going to do nothing. The Lord's not going to remember their sins. Their sins have reached onto the heavens. You see? Literally have reached onto the heavens. Let's grab that real quick. This is Revelations 18. All right. And where's that at? This is, I'll take it from 2, which this is a future prophecy of America, right? It says, and cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen and has become the habitation of devils, in the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. The merchants of the earth are waxed rich through her abundance of her delicacies. Yeah, all these nations have ate, all right, and have ate well because of America, man, because they make the money off of you Israelites in America. And I heard another voice saying from heaven, saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues, right? Zechariah 14 and 12. That's the plague. This is the plague that shall come upon the earth, right? That the nuclear missiles are going to consume their mouths and their faces, right? Going to melt them, deteriorate them, all right? It says, for her sins have reached on to heaven, and Yahweh has remembered her iniquities. The Lord has always remembered her iniquities, man. But see, the Lord allowed them to continue to keep doing what they do. So when the time comes for them to be destroyed, there's no turning back from that. There's no, all right, I'm going to have mercy on them. Or, all right, let me spare them for this that they did. The Lord not going to look at them like that, man. The Lord is going to go full blown, pedal to the metal, all right, straight up, just annihilate America on a whole nother level, on the level that has never been seen upon the earth, to the point where the whole earth is going to reel to and fro like a drunkard, as it tells you in Isaiah, the 24th chapter, man. You see? So the Lord is just allowing this devil to just keep doing what he do. All right. This is why Esau is going to be taken out of the whole entire earth, man. Going to serve his captivity that's going to feel so long, all right, of 1,000 years. And then he's going to actually be annihilated and disintegrated out of the planet earth to never be able to be seen again. You see, because his pride and his wickedness was so great that the Lord had nothing better to do than to just take him away from life, period. You see, And that's why this devil's gonna come down on us on with great wrath, because he knows this. He knows this, man. Right? These devils hurt. Yeah. It says, plus you're gonna have yep, I read that already. There's a lot of, listen, man, martial law coming for Asher heavy right now. All right. This is Zechariah, all right, 4 and 2. From the brother stay true, hopeful. Right? This is for I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished, and half of the city shall go forth into captivity. Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen to Asher. A lot of them niggas is just going to go straight into captivity under their hand, under their rulership, because he just said it. He said, we done took over the whole country now. You see, the president ain't there no more, so that means there's no government. Once you take down, taking down the president is like you taking down the king when you playing in chess and you call checkmate. The game is over. You see? So now they're just going to rule that whole entire country, and all of them is going to be done for. Men are going to be used to join the war on their side now. You know, they're going to be thrown to the front line. The women, they're going to grab them. They're going to ravish them. You see, they're going to use them as little booty spoils of war. All right. Little war booty. The young women. All right. Forget about it. They're going to be some straight slaves out there, bro. You see? It says, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. Yeah, that goes with the rest of that. Okay. Matthew 24:19. It says, and woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. Yeah. Imagine how many of those people, because you already know we're innumerable. We're like the sand of the sea. So we constantly, especially Northern Kingdom, we drop babies like it's no tomorrow. You see? So imagine all them children that are in there, man. A lot of them just going to be, it's going to be straight hell for them. See, this is what happened when Yahushua was being crucified, man. All right. And our people wanted to pit Barabbas over Yahushua, man. And they said, let the blood be on our hands and in our children. See, goes back to that time. You see, those words, you have to swallow those words now. You think that the Lord didn't remember the words that came out of your mouth in those times? The Lord going to hold you hostage to those words that you said. So now you and your children have to suffer for the rest of their days, man. You see? It says, weaker countries to, oh, okay, I got you. All right. It says a whole lot of psyops going on. Yeah. Because I believe through the spirit that president has something to do with them, you know, him allowing them. All right. If you think that the president didn't know that he was going to be attacked, they definitely knew, bro. All these militaries have some type of military weaponry, all right, to be able to pick up attacks before they come, you know. But the fact that they hit him with a surprise attack, lights cut off and everything, all right, speaks a lot of volumes, man. And then they're going to go and take the president, and the president went and came back to the States. Seems like he's being protected from his own country, you see. Remember, these devils sit at the table together, all of them, every single one of them, man. All right, and they all try to figure a way to bring in this new world order together. All right. So let's grab a couple more scriptures and I'll end it off. All right. So this is Revelations 18:5. It says, for her sins have reached onto the heavens, and Yahweh has remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works. And the cup which she has filled to her double. How much she has glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. You see? And that's why the Lord is going to tell them eventually, right? Come sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon, right? They're going to be sitting in confusion, just like they had the rest of the world in confusion. They're going to have to sit in their own confusion. The Lord declared the end from the beginning. The Lord said that to the serpent when he deceived Eve. He said that on thy belly, right? Let me grab that real quick. All right, Genesis 3 and 14. It says, and the Lord Yahweh said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life, man. So they were going to be in total confusion and total delusion, you see. So the time is coming that Babylon the Great, old virgin daughter of Babylon, why she be considered as a virgin? Because she's a place that's never been touched. You see, America has this great pride that they cannot be touched. You see, so they're going to have to sit down in the dust in confusion. Just like the Lord said to the serpent in the beginning, in all your days, you're going to be on your belly and in confusion all the way to the end. And now you're going to be in the most confusion by thinking that your houses were going to continue forever, but the Lord going to annihilate your ass and annihilate your country, your golden city, you see? And all these nations around you that has eaten off of you, all right, deliciously with you, all right, they're going to witness America, Babylon the Great being destroyed, man, being put in flames, okay? So, war is coming on a heavy note, man. Let's grab this, all right? Bro, leave it up to Esau, man. Esau be doing some extra shit. All right. This is 2nd Ezra 16. And come on. This is 13. I'll take it from 12. It says, the earth, I'll take it from 11. It says, the Lord Yahweh shall threaten, and who shall now utterly be beaten into powder at his presence. All right. The earth quaketh in the foundations thereof, and the sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and fishes thereof also before the Lord Yahweh and before the glory of his power. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. Behold, the plagues are sent, and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fires kindle, and shall not be put out till it consume the foundations of the earth. You see? So at the end of the day, man, that the strongest is right hand that bendeth the bow is really going into these missile silos, right? These missiles that are going to come out the missile silos from one end of the earth to the other. All right, they're being metaphorically speaking as spoken as arrows. Those are really nuclear missiles. Okay, but really strong hand that bendeth the bow is just the spirit of the Lord, man. The missiles, all right, are going to have the spirit of Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, each and one of them in them, all right, when it comes to destroying America. That's why they're not going to break their ranks. None of them are going to thrust through and hit each other. Every single one of the missiles are going to hit exactly where they need to be hitting, all right, at that accumulated time when that time comes, you see? So, hey, man, this is what's coming to America, all right? Straight fire, great fire. As the scriptures say, you know, back in the ancient times, you know, war was made with a clinging of swords, right? Confusion of noise, okay? And everything was rolled in garments, blood rolled in garments. But this time, right, it shall be with fuel and fire, okay? And Jacob's trouble, all right, is about to be turned up a whole nother notch with these, the tribe of Asher, okay? With them being taken over by Americans, right? American military now on their soil, all right? And they got no choice but to surrender themselves onto American ways, okay? And then the rest of Asher gonna catch it too. Because now with them smacking Venezuela, now the rest of South of America is all fucking beat up and scared probably. They're like, oh, hell no, these niggas is coming with cutting off lights and everything. And these are poor countries, you see? Even though we all have military power all over the world, all right, their grids and their power, you know, their resources, all right, is still poor. Everything is poor. You see, it's not like America. America's built with all these fucking buildings of stone. They don't got that shit out there, man. Them niggas living in huts and boxes. They living in Nike boxes, man. You see, so it's just gonna be much easier for them to go all the way down South America and take over. You know, like that song says, we taking over. One city at a time. That's exactly what's about to happen. They're going to take over one city at a time. So that whole entire region, South America, is pretty much under their submission. All right. Even, and it's just going to stir up more war because remember, China and Russia have certain things that are in those countries. Okay. And they are a protection hedge onto them. You see? But there's only so much they can do because Russia is not right there. All right. They don't have Russian troops sitting there inside their countries right now. All right. Protecting them at all. They just have protection from a distance. You see, with thermonuclear missiles. That's why eventually these nations will get mad, all right, at America because they're destroying everything that they have, that they're allied with, basically. You see? So, hey, man, you just got to continue to watch the news and watch what happens, all right? And hey, it's going to be a lot of Jacob's trouble going on in Asher, and it's not going to be reported, too. You can only just use your imagination at the end of the day. All right. So we'll leave it at that through the spirit. Lord willing, you will edify. The water for the precepts, the water for tuning in. So Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Call Elohim La Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Barak Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone and the like-minded brothers. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that scattered abroad, the Akim and the Akwat that was listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing, that the lesson was edifying. To the next one, Shalom. Keep fighting the good fight of faith. A Bible ball soon to this place, real soon. All right. Remember, it's about to go down. This is 2026, right? Year of the NWO, right? And technology. This is all part of the new world order, man. They have to knock out all these countries and all that shit for them to bring in their new world order in full effect, you know, which it pretty much is in full effect right now. They just taking over one city at a time. All right. So with that being said, Shalom. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Barakatah. Shalom, sister Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Barakatah.